My name is Linda Edelman, and I am a professor at Bentley University, and I am one of the 4 co-authors on this paper entitled The Impact of Family Support on Young Entrepreneurs' Startup Activities. For me, there's some real personal things that motivated it. I come from a family business. One of the things that I regret, not that I have many regrets, but this particular one, is that I never had a chance to work with my dad in our family business. My brother had that opportunity, but I did not. And now I have children who are grown, so I've sort of switched to the other role, and in that other role, my children are interested in becoming entrepreneurs. And we really talked about, my co-authors and I, what would we do for our children in this particular situation? We married that with having some access to some pretty interesting data. So we had access to the Global Entrepreneurship Student Spirit Survey, the GUESS data, which is about a survey of about 100,000 students globally. As we sort of looked at the data, we had a chance to think about what goes into and what affects students in their startup activities. We took a look at family support. We were particularly interested in family social support and family financial support. And I can tell you that initially we just assumed that families would give their children everything. We thought, oh my goodness, they'll open up their wallets, they'll open up their, I guess it would be their contact list on their phone. And we found actually that's not how it works. We found that families do open up their contact list, that they're really helpful in the young entrepreneurs in terms of their contacts and making connections, but actually they don't supply, at least at the student stage, they don't supply young entrepreneurs with a lot of money. And we were puzzled by this. So you can think about your own children. You know, they're students. Would you immediately want to fund a venture if they're just nascent entrepreneurs who've done 3 or 4 activities? Maybe not. Maybe you'd want to give them some contacts, help them flesh out their ideas, help them figure out what they want to do, but you might not open your wallet right away. We also thought that tighter families would be more willing to help. We found that that's not necessarily true either. Family cohesiveness indeed helped for the contacts, but once again, it didn't matter how tight the family was, families held back on the financial support. We looked at this a little bit too. We thought about the global context of our data. In some societies, entrepreneurship is a valued and respected profession, but it's not thought of that way in every society across the globe. So it might very well be that in some cases, families would rather see their students or their children have jobs in government or other more steady professions as opposed to entrepreneurship. At the end of the day, we think we have quite a couple of good implications for practice. And it might sound rather silly, but family really matters. Family really matters when it comes to the contacts, the support, the opening up the doors to finding resources for young entrepreneurs. Particularly, we thought, for students who don't have a lot of resources at their disposal. But don't expect your family to finance you right away, was the other thing that we came up with. We actually wondered if we had a longer data set, a longer period of time, this is cross-sectional data, if we could have looked at these startups and interviewed these students 5 years out, sort of post, if they've started a business, and we wondered if we'd find a different effect for family financial, but of course we don't know. All we know is, at least in that nascent startup stage, don't count on your family for money. They're not going to give it to you, at least not right away, but they'll certainly help you in a lot of other ways.